Already mastered the self-rally and are looking to move your skills further? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you probably the most important concept that you need to develop in order to have good control and accuracy. So go ahead, grab a ball and a racket, and get ready to get to work. What's up guys, Zach here with GrowTennis, and if you're new here, we're serving up easy and affordable ways to get more people playing tennis and mastering their fundamentals. Our whole thing is we want to help you get better on a budget. So if you think the game of tennis is awesome or find value in this playlist, please share it with somebody it could help and consider subscribing. Now, let's go ahead and get into your training for this video. The subject of this video is probably one of the most underrated concepts in the game of tennis, which is crazy because it's critical in order to have good control and accuracy. And that is finding your perfect strike zone, or that point where you make contact with the ball. You see, every time the ball is coming your way, you have just a few seconds to move in that general direction, take those tiny steps to get in perfect position, and then use whatever technique you like. And wherever that point where your strings actually make contact with the ball is 100% connected with the direction where the ball will be going. And this point of contact is what we will now refer to as the perfect strike zone. The perfect strike zone has three key ingredients that you absolutely must have in order to have good control. And without a firm understanding of this concept, I don't care how good your technique is, you're always going to struggle with being able to control the ball, especially so when we start adding more topspin and more power to your shots. So what are the three keys to the perfect strike zone? Well, the first one, and arguably the most important, is you always have to keep the ball in front of you. The second, and also extremely important, is that you always need to position your body and arm to the side of the ball. And the third is equally important, but not quite as exact, and that's going to be the height at which we make contact. And that's going to be ideally between pocket to shoulder high. So even after you know and become familiar with these three ingredients, the real trick is always going to be getting your body into that perfect position so that you can find that perfect point of contact. So in the rest of the video, I'm going to show you a drill that you can do at home, which will really help build this strike zone and develop the feel that you need. Hold the racket with the continental or universal grip, and then you're going to make that L shape between your racket and your arm. By keeping this L shape, it actually forces my arm to keep the racket in front and to the side of my body. You can start on your palm side like this, and then without moving your elbow or anything, you can turn that racket over and make that same L shape on your knuckle side. Then you're going to follow that touch bounce pattern on both your palm, knuckle, and alternating sides of your racket. To do this well, notice how the feet are always repositioning before each new shot. These tiny steps are actually really important movements that are always helping your body accurately measure where it needs to be. From here on out, we're going to refer to these steps as cha-cha-cha steps, and that's because that's the sound that your feet should be making once you get to the tennis court. Take a few minutes to practice self-rallying while using your L. And if you're using a space with a wall, you want to go ahead and face the direction of that wall the entire time. Once you get a pretty good hang of this, the next thing you're going to do is lightly pass the ball towards a target against a wall or backboard. Notice how it's got the same amount of distance and speed when sending to the wall as you would when controlling the ball up to yourself. And for me personally, controlling the ball up to myself or sending it towards a wall really feel the exact same. And that's because you're going to be using the same amount of energy or power or control on every single touch. To help with your aim and direction, a good way to think of this is that the ball is always going to go whichever direction your strings are facing after you make contact. So if you're right-handed and you keep hitting the ball towards the right of the target, it's most likely that you're making contact a little bit behind where your perfect strike zone is. Or if you're right-handed and you're missing to the left of the target, it's most likely that you're using your wrist like this and not controlling where your strings are facing after you hit the ball. Remember, your hands are going to be the captain of the ship. So the better job you can do of keeping your palm facing towards your target before and after, the more accurate you're going to be when hitting the ball towards a target. Your challenge: draw a target on a wall and try to hit that target 20 times in a row. If you're using the backboard setup like I am in my backyard, you can use the backboard itself as your initial target. Every time the ball comes back to you, take the time to control it back up to yourself and reposition your feet. Take as many touches as you need at first and only send it back towards the wall once you think you've positioned yourself to send it back in your perfect strike zone. If after 10 minutes or so you haven't reached your goal, no problem. Just switch over to your knuckle side and try the exact same thing. For the knuckle side, you probably want to start with one hand for now, and that's just because it's a little bit more natural and easy for people to learn. Then as you improve, you have the option to add your other hand to the racket if you'd like. Later in the series, I will be showing you how to hit a pretty good two-handed backhand. So it is a good idea to get familiar with both hands. And even if you're hitting a two-handed backhand, you're still going to use one hand on a lot of your volleys and slices and other type of specialty shots. So it's a great idea to go ahead and get familiar with both. Make sure to complete this challenge on your palm side, your knuckle side with one hand, and your knuckle side with two hands before moving on to the next video. The more time you spend on this drill, on your palm side and knuckle side, the more you master it, the better you will be when it comes to controlling the ball, especially so when we start adding more topspin and backswing to your strokes. If you have a kid that's 10 years old or younger, they're probably going to have a difficult time doing this drill and might really create a bad first experience if they try. If that's the case, you might want to check out the GrowTennis Development Kit, and you can find out more information about that down in the video description. Question for you: which side of the body are you more comfortable on? Is it the palm side or the knuckle side? And what tricks or tips did you figure out while trying this that might help somebody else out? Please share with the community in the comment section below. Okay, thanks for watching. Click here if you're ready to move on to the next video, or click here if you want to build your own backboard. The entire backboard took me less than 1 hour to build and is the same price or less than the cost of one tennis lesson. And until next time, stay positive, keep practicing, and you will see results with just a little bit of time.